Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. How are you guys doing today? So, we'll start over here in Vietnam. Tropical storm Sun Tin hits Vietnam, damaging or destroying over 5,000 homes and leaving more than 30 dead. This is one of those conveyor belt ones we've been talking about, and these same areas are getting to get hit quite often. This is the 9th named storm of the 2018 Pacific typhoon season. And so Pacific, very, very active. Atlantic, not so far. And then next week we're probably going to get 2 more named storms, pretty likely according to the forecasts. And so it's dropped heavy rain in northern Vietnam. It weakened into a tropical depression after it made landfall, moved over the country, briefly entered Laos, and then turned back into Vietnam, exited into the Gulf of Tonkin, re-intensified into a tropical storm, and then made landfall over western Hainan, China today. So it's just kind of crazy what's going on with the weather, as we're going to see. It's just amazing, what is going on weather-wise. We've seen just amazing, strange behavior. Totally different wind patterns than we've seen in the past. So it's just been an amazing thing to watch. And as we know, you don't have to have 130-mile-an-hour winds to cause damage. We've seen the power of water in like the last 3 or 4 months. We have seen it countless times. Just incredible the damage that could be done. And right here you have over 5,000 homes damaged, swept away, submerged, or collapsed. Around 82,000, well actually if you go in acres, 202,000 acres of crops damaged. And we were talking about crop losses in this morning's video, and it is really adding up fast. Do you know that here in Florida, you can't find grapefruit. I mean, there's no grapefruit because the frosts that we had last year just wiped out all our local grapefruit orchards, and so you really can't find them. It's really something, that, I mean, I haven't been in Florida more than a couple of years in total, but I don't remember that ever being about before. So we're starting to really see the impact on crops from these storms, and we will seriously see it in a couple more months. And you have at least 11 people missing after a mudslide in another province that swept through some 4,000 homes. Wow, a mudslide going through 4,000 homes. This has just been an incredible season, and we're here in July 22nd. Mars sandstorm, stunning video, shows the entire surface of Mars being obscured by global dust and haze. And we've talked about that and how bright Mars is right now. It's super bright when you go look outside, super close. And so this is a huge global event. And then we have, sandstorms going on here as well. We've had that sub-Saharan sand being deposited all the way into Texas and Oklahoma. Pretty wild. And so Mars with their storm going as well. And this is affecting the entire solar system. The energy and everything that's going on with the sun being at its lowest level in 9,500 years. Volcanic updates, eruptions of Kilauea ongoing, Ambe, multiple Indonesian volcanoes, Villarrica in Chile, and Waiatapu in New Zealand. And it just continues to go. The Fissure 8 turning into its own volcano and growing daily. And it's also going to be moving into some newer areas with the potential of damaging a lot more homes now as well. So that is still ongoing, no let up in sight. And as you can see by this over here, you can see the active ocean entry over on this point. And the Big Island is getting bigger. The alert level for Ambae volcano in Vanuatu has been raised to a 3. And as we've seen, Gung has had some pretty big explosions. Anak Krakatau as well. So, and that has entered a new and high intense explosive activity phase. Merapi volcano, Kirinchi, Alright, I'll get it right. And so this is in Sumatra. Is enveloped by a thick and white plume of gas and vapor, rising 400 to 500 meters above the summit. And so, yeah, as we were saying, the world is waking up with these volcanoes. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And the storms, ever growing. And then when we go and we look at some of these storms, now let's go over to Europe and see what's happening in Europe. So this is Bosnia and Herzegovina, an intense hailstorm, and the hail is really damaging. And it hurts, as you could tell from the look on his face. And it could be deadly. I mean, honestly, we've seen some huge hailstorms. See the damage to the cars. That's a pretty good size hail ball there. Look at the damage to that building too. And then check this out. This is in Romania. This is a scary situation at the beach. Pretty crazy, wild weather going on at the beach in Romania. Wow. And then this is also in Romania, another hailstorm. Look at that plopping in the water. And this is in Utah, flash flood, going down a canyon, bringing all the debris with it.
Oh, wow! Wow! Big time flash flood here! Big time! Climbing up! Oh, wow! Oh! Wow!
So flash flood in Utah, and then this is really something to watch.
Damn!
Look at that tree all cracked up already. This is the tornadoes that went through Iowa. And you can see it's right around. Look at these poor guys. That tree smashed.
Oh, shit! Oh, fuck!
That's some wild footage there. And that was in Iowa. That was the tornadoes that went through. So, Tornillo residents perplexed by mysterious booms heard across town. And this is El Paso, and this is actually an area where we've had a lot of those fracking quakes. So, it just makes me wonder what's going on with that as well. Because you're seeing in this area in Texas quakes almost on a daily basis now. And so Tornillo residents were concerned about loud booming sounds. The calls were sporadic, plenty of theories. I think it's a crash or something on the freeway. I don't know, one resident said. Kadesh Wright works at the Dollar General. She said the boom stopped her in her tracks. I jumped. I looked up. I was looking out the windows, and then I actually went outside to look around to see if I could see anything. I didn't see anything. Others said they could hear it from their school. Yeah, it was loud. We could feel it in the portable. We felt it. Yeah, it was bad. So there's less than 2,000 people in this little town. But after spending a couple hours in the town, it's clear that several people are perplexed by these sounds. And so people are saying they could feel it as well, and it caused shaking as well. The El Paso County Sheriff Office didn't have any answers. They said a group of scientists from UTEP were conducting research, and perhaps that was it. But I wonder if it's, well, you wonder what's going on, fracking related, non-fracking related. We have so many different possibilities. We do have so many different things going on. I've heard about experimental military aircraft too being used that are hypersonic. So who knows? It's just another one in the long list of places with mysterious booms. And there's probably multiple things happening there. So one of the things about looking at the earthquakes today that struck me is an awful lot of activity over here in the Middle East. Yeah, we talked about Israel having another one, but you actually got 1, 2, 3, now we got 4, 5, 6 earthquakes in Iran, and that's definitely unusual. 4.3, 4.4, 5.9, 5.5, 5.4, 4.8. Yeah, it doesn't happen often that we get 6 in Iran, so that's really curious. And it just makes me wonder, because we have coming out here today Iran's Rouhani warning Trump about mother of all wars if Trump pursues hostile policies against Tehran. So, do you think there's anything going on between that statement and then Iran getting 6 earthquakes in a day? Is that a coincidence? What's your takes on that? Just a coincidence? I don't know. The technology is out there. There's definitely the technology to make earthquakes. So, is this a statement? Is this a statement to tell him basically to shut up? Coming back? 6 earthquakes in Iran in one day. I can't remember seeing that before, honestly. And if we look at the rest of the quakes, you can see there's actually quite a bit of activity cooking. 895 quakes, that's quite a bit. And a lot going on in Alaska, a lot in California. Actually, it's definitely pretty busy out there. Could do with the alignment, perhaps. We have 655 right now in Hawaii at the moment. And I don't think we've had an eruption yet today. Nope, yesterday. Yesterday's 5.4 was the last one. So there were some comments about this earlier today. So I looked it up, and a woman captures snowflakes in July off Myrtle Beach balcony. So her name is Cheryl Hughes, and was this some sort of stunt? It was kind of misting. And so, later on it came out that it was some sort of hoax, but we just had so many people making comments saying, check out the Myrtle Beach snow, check out the Myrtle Beach snow. Well, it does look like it, right? Sort of. But anyway, it was 85 degrees, so it wasn't snow. And sometimes I don't know what most people know as far as like what they should be looking for in certain foods, which ones to buy organic and which ones not to. But yeah, coffee is one that you really want to get organic. It's loaded with chemicals. Now, some say that most of the chemicals are going to burn off in the roasting process, but do you really want to put your coffee in Roundup, let it soak in Roundup, and then burn it off? I'd rather not have any Roundup in my coffee. So, I mean, I hope you guys would too, because they've found tons of pesticides and chemicals in coffee. It's one of the most heavily sprayed crops there is in the world. And so, not a good one. Glyphosate is nasty stuff. And, DDT, do you really want DDT in your coffee? Buy organic, definitely. Coffee is something that should be bought organic. So, it's just one of those things. And there's so many things that I think over the years I've taken for granted. Like, I don't use microwaves. I don't really buy nonstick pans, especially the older technology. If a nonstick pan ever gets a cut in it, throw it out. Although a lot of them now, you could get green pans, which don't have those chemicals in them as well. There's a lot of things to take in consideration. Obviously, don't drink fluoridated water. If you're going to drink water, distilled does pull toxins out of your body, and it could also, according to some, leach minerals out, in which case, put trace minerals back in. So those are things to keep in consideration, and we've touched on those at different times. Obviously another thing I would definitely buy organic is milk if you're going to drink milk. I don't drink milk. I haven't for decades. But still organic as well. And there's so many things that we could touch on. But yeah, coffee, most definitely. So, there is hope. I mean, everything looks really, really scary out there in many ways. The storms, for sure, it's crazy out there. And of course, we always are threatened with war and all sorts of discord and stuff. But this is a statement that is true. There really is hope.
A spiritual perspective on the world situation. More than half a century ago, Paramahamsa Yogananda described the changes that the world would go through as part of its transition into a higher, more spiritual age. While he did not give an exact timetable, he did offer a great deal of spiritual counseling and practical advice for dealing with these challenging times. Paramahamsa's guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar, revealed in the book The Holy Science that the atomic age is a new ascending age in the life of our planet. However, we still have the influence of the Dark Age, the Kali Yuga. That is still affecting us, and it's something that we have to pass through and move into this newer era that we're going into. The thought patterns created during the thousands of years of materialistic interests are reflected in the multifarious customs, traditions, and superstitions that separate man from man, nation from nation. As humanity throws off these age-old delusions and inharmonies, Paramahamsaji predicted great ups and downs to the fortunes of societies and nations, and thereafter a period of unparalleled progress the world over. Summarizing Paramahamsa Yogananda's advice on the subject, our revered third president, Sri Daya Mata, one of the Guru's earliest and closest disciples, said, Yogananda impressed on us the understanding that whenever world conditions or civilizations undergo significant changes, there is always an underlying subtle cause, the hidden workings of the law of karma that operates in the lives of the individuals and on a mass level of international affairs. Just as with challenges in our personal life, the right attitude is, what am I to learn from this? So the world as a whole needs to understand the lessons that the divine intends us to assimilate at this point in our evolution.
Humankind has to embrace the art of balanced spiritual living, and it has to learn to get along as one global family. The pressures we feel and the anxieties that plague us in the era of exploding technological advances will sooner or later compel us to learn these lessons. Paramahamsa Ji foresaw this years ago and told us many times, the day is coming when the world will have to get back to simple living. We must simplify our lives and make time for God. We must live more with the consciousness of brotherhood, because as civilization evolves into a higher age, we are going to find that the world becomes smaller. Prejudice, intolerance must go. Jesus said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." Science has brought the nations so close to one another that the vast world is now more like a household, with each member interlinked and dependent on the other. Consider how difficult it is, even now, for a small family to stay together amidst the disuniting trends of our times. Is there hope for unity in the world at large? There is hope for individual families as well as for relationships among the global family of the nations, if we can make time to nurture those goals and values that are conducive to real peace and spiritual understanding. And so that's some words of wisdom from Yogananda and some of his disciples. And he was one of the first ones to bring yoga from the East to the West. And he also fully embraced Christ and the teachings of Christ, and wrote many, many books that were very, very insightful and fascinating as well on that. And so just wisdom for the next era that's right now that we're stepping our feet into. And again, it's all about unity consciousness. It's all about realizing that we don't have to be separate and at odds with each other and in continual competition with each other. You know, as Darwinism gave us this concept of only the fit survive, and that's the way nature wants it. But it's not necessarily the case, you know, because there are different things in nature that work together in a symbiotic relationship. It's not all simply, you know, lions hunting down prey and eating caribou. It's not that at all. And in the next age, you know, it's going to be completely different and harmonious. And so we'll have the unity we haven't had since the Tower of Babel, you know, when we were dispersed all over the world. But that because we were in fact united, and at that point, you know, who could say what man can do if man was united? And once again, we're going to get united, and once again, we'll be saying, well, what could we not do once we're reunited? And what good things can we do when we're focused on building instead of on fear? And fear leads to destruction and disunity. And so, really, it's the need is shedding our fears. We need to shed our fears, and we need to see God and divinity in each and every face that you look at, and understand that, and put yourself into their shoes. Instead of snapping at somebody that snaps at you, understand, you know, perhaps there's something that's really going wrong in their lives. Or just simply have pity for them because they are not at the same level that you are. Because you're able to let little things go and you see the bigger picture, where they basically are still caught in all the little minutia and the drama that just shows that they're not there spiritually. They don't have that spiritual maturity, so they still lash out and they don't know how to control themselves. And so that's just basically something that we understand. You know, not everybody is in the same place. You know, how few showed the compassion of Christ when he walked and healed the sick, and, you know, taught so many people to basically turn the other cheek. And when somebody asks of you, go ahead, and don't go just 1 mile, go 2 with them as well. And, you know, that's the true teachings of Christ, and that's the true teachings of love. And the world has seen many amazing gurus, you know, throughout the generations, as like we were talking about previously with Buddha. recognizing that this reality is just Maya. It's just an illusion. Really, there's an underlying unity that ties everything together. And the earth itself, for all its vastness, is just a simple cell in the body of something bigger. Just as you are a universe, yourself, unto trillions of forms of life that live inside you every day and that probably revere you as God. As above, so below. It's the nature of the universe. The universe is a fractal. Everything is based on fractals. Fractals contain all of the information in a smaller piece, but it's all there. The whole is contained in the smaller unit. So we see that, and just the way nature is constructed, we could see so many of the divine laws of the cosmos in nature, and we see it in the spiral. We see it in so many different things. And again, that great axiom, as above, so below, is so true. So my friends, as always, please do thumbs up to support the channel. Subscribe and grow with our family, and as we grow together and support each other, and click the bell for all the updates, and share with as many people as possible. May you all be blessed with abundant peace, love, health, wellness. May you all live up in this life to its absolute highest possibility for each and every one of you. God bless, and namaste, my friends.